Once the disk comes, we'll be added the disk group. Sorry, we'll add the disk to the existing disk group. Okay. Now we have the 3 disk groups are there. Now what we wanted to add the the newly created disk to the disk group data. So just select the disk group and then click on add disks option. Okay. Now it's telling you that the disk, the default of the disk, whatever we created, the newly disk is being shown. Just select that disk and then just click on OK. Okay, the disks are added to the disk group data. Now we can see that the size of the disk is being increased here. You can see that the total size is 15.62, which was earlier 17.81 something it was there. So now it became 15.62 because the newly added disk was created and we have gone with external redundancy. So there is no reduction on the size for the mirroring activities. Whatever we are creating, that many number, that whatever the size of the disk we are adding, the same size will be added to the size of the disk group. If you had the mirroring like a normal mirroring or high mirroring, or a normal redundancy or high redundancy, then the size of the disk would have been, or the disk would have been reduced based on the type of the redundancy what you are following. Here it is external redundancy, so there is no data size lost or disk size lost. Is this clear?
Yes, I have a doubt in the mirroring.
Yeah. Mirroring is that, let's say, there are 3 mirroring is there with the ASM. One is an external, they are not known as mirroring, they are known as redundancy. The first one is an external redundancy. That means the disk is being mirrored at the hardware level. Okay. For example, your system administrator is telling that we have implemented a RAID on the storage. So whatever the disk is having, there is a mirror copy for that disk is available. That is an external redundancy. That is a mirroring at the hardware level. Okay, so if you have the mirroring at the hardware level, there is no need for additional one more mirroring at the software level. So at that time, you have the option of selecting the external redundancy. Is that clear?
Okay.
Now coming to the normal redundancy. Normal redundancy varies depends upon what purpose what we are going to create the disk group. If you are creating the disk group for the OCR and for storing the voting disk, then the normal redundancy means it should have the 3 disks. Is that clear? If you are going with the data storage or the data file storage, then the normal redundancy means at least 2 disks. So the size of the total space what we will be having will be the sum of the disks divided by 2, because each disk will be storing the mirror image on the other disk. Is that clear?
Okay, so the redundancy tool nothing but total size divided by 2.
It's in the case of the normal redundancy.
In the normal redundancy.
Okay. Yeah. Now high redundancy will be the total size divided by 3. Even for each for each extent inside the disk, there will be 2 copies will be there. So the total size is reducing to the total number of the sum of the size of each disk divided by 3. So that will be the total size we will be getting for that particular disk group.
Okay, so is that having a high redundancy is advantages or disadvantages? I think
it depends upon what is your the application criticality. Say if normally what happens is that many of the storage vendors like EMC or NetApps will be providing an option to have the storage level mirroring. Okay, so at that time, like they will be built in with the mirroring and the redundancy features. So if your storage administrator decided to go with that mirroring or the redundancy, then there is no need for any additional redundancy from your ASM level. Okay, other places it is better to have the external redundancy. I'm sorry, normal redundancy, but high redundancy is given for the applications which cannot afford any kind of data loss. Okay, so that much complicated application, that much critical application, you can go ahead with the the high redundancy. So at that, for that applications, there will not be any the disk storage will not be a constraint. I mean, the companies will be ready to spend money for the storage. So for them, yes, we can go ahead with the high redundancy. Otherwise, for the normal applications, the normal redundancy should be sufficient.
So, but usually we will see like the redundancy will be taken care at a hardware level, right?
That's correct. Normal cases.
Yeah.
Now, most of the storage vendors are providing redundancy, and most of the storage administrator also prefers to have the redundancy at the hardware level, because it's more safer than that of any other application or the software provided redundancy. Yes. Is this clear?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
No problem. Okay.